Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce. Today's seminar will focus on the UAE economy 2022 and beyond to raise community awareness of the corporate social responsibility. This seminar is proudly organized by Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce and the Pakistan Business Professionals Council in partnership with the Ministry of Economy and the National Fund of the Corporate Social Responsibility. Warrants of His Excellency Mohammed Helal AlMheiri, Director General of Abu Dhabi Chamber. Your Excellency.
Good morning. I'm very happy and delighted to see some of our friends among the attendees, which we did not see for a long time. So we want to tell everyone welcome to Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce, I'm pleased to welcome you today to this important seminar to shed light on the UAE economy in 2022, which is organized by the Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce in cooperation with Pakistan Business Professional Council in Abu Dhabi, the Ministry of Economy, and the CSR UAE Fund. Ladies and gentlemen, several economic development indicators point to a strong financial system and strong and resilient national economy. A report released by the World Bank that the UAE economy to continue in its recovery course in 2022 with growth anticipated to reach 4.7%, driven by oil and non-oil sectors. Furthermore, the financial reserve of the UAE continue to exhibit solid growth, according to the Central Bank of the United Arab Emirates, which reflects the country's robust banking system and high financial solvency, ensuring its ability to overcome any sudden shifts in the financial and ability to overcome any sudden shifts in the financial and economic landscape. Through the UAE's economic diversification efforts, the country has made significant progress to reduce its reliance on oil and shifts towards a competitive economy driven by knowledge and innovation. Currently, the non-oil sector accounts for 70% of the total GDP. The UAE in 2022 is keen on further increasing the competitiveness of the private sector. This is to be achieved by implementing innovative strategies targeted at accelerating growth and economic diversification. SMEs today represent 94% of the total companies and institutions operating in the country and contribute more than 50% to the country's GDP, making them a key player in building a competitive, knowledge-based economy. Furthermore, the UAE government is exerting huge efforts to enhance the country's position on the world economic map and turning it a capital for future economy through knowledge, advanced technologies, innovation, and creativity. The government has launched several initiatives and fortified its position as preferred destination for emerging businesses and startups by building sustainable, resilient, and competitive economy combined by encouraging business environment perfect for new investments and fit for new business models. Some of these initiatives are outlined below. The UAE today offers 100% foreign ownership in most economic activities in the country. Introduction of the Golden Visa and Green Visa and Freelancer Visa and other options for securing long-term visas for skilled professionals. Undertaking comprehensive economic partnership agreements with 8 key global markets, the first of which with India, came into effect on May 1st. Launch of the National and Country Value program at a federal level, which will facilitate the redirection of procurement and contract expenses to the local economy. Launch of the UAE Digital Economy Strategy, which aims to double the contribution of the digital economy to the GDP from 9.7% to 19.4% within the next 10 years. It also aims to enhance the position of the United Arab Emirates, a hub for digital economy in the region and globally. Adoption of a 4.5-day working week aligned with the international Monday-Friday working calendar. It is perhaps due to these efforts and countless others, the UAE has retained its #1 rank in the GCC and number 22 globally in attracting FDI as per UNICTAD. In conclusion, I would like to thank the Western Business Professional Council in Abu Dhabi for their contribution in organizing this radical seminar, and extend my thanks to all who are attending today's event, wishing them all.
From this introduction, I would like just to introduce myself, because it's 25 slides, so I will not throw them all. I just I stop at 4 or 5. I mean the key messages or the key idea. First of all, for the future of the UAE economy, the vision is visible, His Highness, especially the last phrase which is important. And today we want to design the next 50 years for the next new generation. So this is our starting point for my presentation. Let's say all presentations we address 3 points. The first is what is or what was or what has been the model that was adopted by the UAE during the last 50 years. So just I need to look at them, try to see what are the achievements and what are the lessons that we took from there in order to move on for a new or advanced. The second one, just COVID-19. As we say in Arabic, it was a good, exercise for the UAE economy and the government in order to test our agility and how we can react in case of crisis. So the good thing about this crisis, what we call that, stress exercise. So we have been able to see to what extent, the government, the business community, the whole country can go in order to face such systemic crisis that is COVID-19. The last part is the future challenges. It's really part of your event. The UAE is 2022, and what will be the future of the So this slide, it summarizes the whole past period. Since 94 key phase in its evolution process. The first one was in oil and gas. The key role that this sector, the strategic role that this sector had played and still, in the development process of the UAE. Then you have the second phase or stations, key stations, which is it's like a metro. So the second station is the free zones as well. Everything related to the opening trade policy adopted by the UAE, including by adhering to the WTO and also concluding some trade agreements and establishing free zones inside the UAE. And then you have the phase of investment, attracting for FDA and trying to be, not only a regional but a worldwide platform for FDA portfolio. The last but not least was, and still we are in this phase, which is to move towards a knowledge-based economy. innovation, R&D, attracting talent, etc. What are the key achievements of this project? So the UAE economy has grown, by 7 times since 1975. And also in terms of GNP per capita, so we are one of the top 10. This, macroeconomic results confirm the success of this model. But as we are moving, in a very changing world, in order to limit, the negative implications of this COVID-19. First, it was the whole setup, managerial setup, by government, federal and local, in order to respond to this crisis. So at the beginning, was trying to reach this perfect coordination between all levels. Government, local, federal, and also the business community, and especially, trying to set up the right balance between health concerns and also, limit we call it, as economic carnage, caused by the COVID-19. So it was this managerial setup. The second was the economic stimulus package. No doubt that the government through the social bank was one of the first countries in the world. To put a package worth of 388 billion dirhams in order to counter this crisis. I'm talking here about the central bank program, in addition to all the measures adopted by local government. In terms of stage. So first we have to identify and understand what will be the key mega trend that will impact economy in the world. So this study, has resulted in identifying 4. First, it's the acceleration of the 4th industrial revolution. So everything related to the digitalization of the economy. The second one is sustainability. So everything related to the green growth, green economy, circular economy, the blue economy, the new economy. So there's all these new trends. The third one is the resource security, because as you know, we in the UAE have what we call, the food security, and food and water security. So this also is it's a challenge for us and for a number of countries. And the last but not least one is the innovation economy. So we already interested in this phase, but now we are called to adopt an accelerated pace in order to be in line with the other countries. Why this 4 mega trends? Because really, first, 4th industrialization acceleration, we try, to see what would be the future shape of this, let's say, industries in the future. So it is expected to grow significantly by 2030. And before you have the projected market size in billion dollars. So it is expected to reach something like around $3 trillion by 2030. And on the right side, I just put one of our key, and what we call our captains, the captains of our industry. So also we have Mubala, which is the key player. So here are the opportunities on the right side, and on the left side and the right side, we have the potential key player, from the perspective. Then, of course, we have the sustainability. So the UAE will face global shifts to focus on sustainability and green growth. We expected size of the world markets around $10 trillion and around 395 million new jobs related to the sustainability. The UAE has already engaged in Mastar and other projects, already, and also recently, for the new line of production. So we are already, we are there, with it, but the objectives for the UAE economy beyond 2021 is to be one of the, let's say, one of the key players. And then you have, everything related to the food and water security. Also, your government already, launched a number of initiatives, everything related to the agri-tech and, the investment abroad, sustainable investment abroad in certain areas. So I say that this is one of the future challenges that we should, really, think about addressing in a very effective manner. So the last one is the R&D, the innovation, everything related to the innovation economy. So the aim is to develop an integrated strategy for nurturing the UAE innovation ecosystem via the adoption of relevant technologies, especially R&D. So one of the key targets for the UAE is to increase the ratio or the contribution of R&D in our GDP. So the target was aiming to be 1.5% of GDP by 2021. In 2020, our R&D spending in universities exceeded the 8 billion dirhams. So we are still, the relevant stakeholders, they are still in the process of assessing, the achievement of 2021. So there could be, announcement, the next. And also, as His Excellency does mentioned in his insightful speech, also one of the pillars is attracting talents. Who will be the next 2 million stars coming into the UAE in different areas, of course, and through a very screening process. Just that the people that will come, they will be what we call, positive contributor to the UAE economy. So, and just the slides, it's kind of sectoral map that will come up, that what will be, the new sectors. So we divide them into the 4 categories, or the 4 challenges. The first is the digitalization of the economy, and then you have the green economy, food security, and the production. And then you have let's say what as Ministry of Economy and the government see as promising new sectors for the new economic model. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hassan. Now I'd like to invite Mrs. Noha Mohammed Harmoudi, Director of the National Fund for the Corporate Social Responsibility.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Yep. First of all, I would like to salute the ladies amongst us for being able to appear amongst all the other gentlemen. And I will be calling more of Dr. Qaiser to give us a commitment that we have more and more people on the council representing our gender. Inshallah. I'll give you more of a background. First of all, I would like to thank Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce for their invitation and Pakistan Business Professional Council to call us for such a seminar, to be part of it, to talk about us and how can we help you, how can we be your partner and the way forward. I will not really discuss all the details about the UAE that His Excellency already gave us lots of information about, and Dr. Hassan as well. I'll tell you about more of like in a nutshell, and I will not really bore you, I promise you. I'll be very fast and just get the whole thing done in less than 5 minutes.
You can be slow.
I love being fast because like I see like everyone is like quiet over here. So to start with, I just ask you a question.
It's the morning time.
Yeah. Now that we are just like getting together and started meeting everyone face to face, it's good to break the ice a bit. How many have a board? How many of your companies have like board of directors? Okay, can you tell me whether you have like reached 10% having female represented in your board?
More than 10%.
10%? Okay. 20%? 30%?
In our council, we have 50%.
Oh, you have 50%? My council or my board of trustee exceeded the 50%, thank God. And it was based on profession. It was not, they were not selected because they were ladies. It's based on their performance, competitiveness, and the added value they can have in our board. So to talk further about
Inshallah, soon ladies will take over. Don't worry.
eventually. I'll tell you more about the National CSR Fund. Most of the people think CSR is a new concept or something more of a trendy thing that's coming from the West or from nowadays, but for us it's like it's rooted in our heritage, in our tradition, in our religion as well. And I just like quote late Sheikh Syed bin Sultan Hayyan, the founding father of the UAE, when he said that real wealth is the hard work and that benefits the person and the community. It is immortal and eternal and forms the value of the human and the nation. And this is what keeps us going, and this is what really pushes us to go forward. So this is not a new concept. So who we are. In 2018, actually in 2017, because we are a government that listens, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum formed more of like a retreat across government entities on the federal level, on the from the local level, and included different sectors from the community and the private sector to come up with things that they can focus on during back then in 2018. They came up with an idea of like working on different tracks, and each of the tracks would be assigned to one of the ministers. One of the tracks was the corporate social responsibility, and it was assigned to the Minister of Economy. The Minister of Economy back then formed as well a committee, and we're glad across all these committees, Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce was one of the partners in forming our strategy and what we're supposed to do and what our role should be. So we are the governing arm for the federal government to make sure that CSR and sustainable impact is implemented, and it is at the same time measured. We are more of like trying to establish the UAE as a global driver for corporate social responsibility and sustainable impact. How we're doing that? By empowering entities. So we're not doing it but not our own. We're trying to get everyone on board, empowering everyone to play their role, to make a difference. Because by unifying these efforts, we can really unleash the wave of impact. Going back to what I just mentioned, we are a government that listens. So our operating model, it starts with listening and then unifying the efforts across all different stakeholders, whether it's government sector, on federal level, local level, with the private sector and the community. And then we magnify the efforts of everyone. Towards the future, everyone is like talking right now about shifting CSR from CSR to ESG. Environment, social, and governance. And this is the same thing that we are as well adopting in our strategy going forward. So talking about this thing, I'll just like again ask another question. How many of your companies factor in ESG in business decision making? Is anyone including that in your decision making? Like having board members representing female? Your board, this is one of the
discuss about it more.
And how many have aligned at least your initiatives with this sustainable development goals? Do you have any initiatives that you say like we are focusing on this sustainable development goals or another?
Out of 17 goals,
Yeah.
we are working on well.
Yeah, okay. So we are here to help you, don't worry. Because this is like, with this shift, we are here just like to simplify the whole ESG, SDG work. Our model is aligning ESG activities with the national priorities and then aligning it with the sustainable development goals worldwide. So we have like created more of our charter, like what are the things that will be serving the environment, social, and governance. And going forward, with us focusing on 3 main topics in the coming at least 6 to 18 months, we'll be focusing on launching national anchor projects where we'll be verifying sustainable impact project, and we'll be certifying rewarding entities for sustainable impact. And how are we doing that? Launching national anchor project. One of the things that we've done lately, I don't know whether the audience heard about it, we helped Algerian government launch their blue sustainable economy. The blue economy, this is something that we worked with them and created so many different opportunities that will be supporting the ESG, whether it's environmental side, social side, and governance and business side. We are working as well with the government of Abu Dhabi on a couple of projects that will be announced hopefully soon with different local entities in Abu Dhabi. We are doing that to just like create different opportunities on the local level and to be able to create more business opportunities for the business community to invest in. We're trying to move from charitable contribution towards how can you just like move towards impact investment, something that will be added to the bottom line by the end. Second thing, we will be verifying sustainable impact project. We will be helping you to tell us like what are the projects you are working on and how can we just like verify it or measure it in a way where they're like, yes, this is in line with the government priority, with the ESG or SDG, and how can you tweak it to make it more impactful. The third thing, we will be certifying good deeds in this regard, and we will be rewarding it at the same time. We will be announcing the winners of the first round of our impact seal, hopefully in the coming few weeks. And hopefully you were one of the companies over here were one of the invited entities to participate in our first round. But through this impact seal, we will be more of like giving you a report on how can you improve in terms of the sustainable development goals, business model, and at the same time, how can you become a better have a better organizational citizenship to make your own employee proud of you, to make the country you are operating in proud of you as well, and be more of like in the overall mechanism and the web that's making the national development happen wherever you are operating. So this is what we are and this is what we do, and thank you. And I'm really sorry if I just took longer than I thought.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Good job.
Thank you, Mrs. Noha. Now I'd like to invite Dr. Syed, Qaiser, the President of the Pakistani Business Professionals Council.
Thank you. Thank you so much. No presence. Okay, absolutely. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellency Mohammed Helal, AlMheiri, Director General of the Abu Dhabi Chamber. Dr. Hassan, Jouaouine, Economic Advisor-Undersecretary, Office Ministry of Economy. This is Madam Noha Mohammed, Harmoudi, Director of the National Fund of Social Responsibility, CSR, UAE. Excellencies, Embassy officials, Ambassador, Chairman and President of the Business Council, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. It is my great honor and pleasure to meet and address to the distinguished and representative of the government and private sector who are contributing to the economic growth, job creation, and the overall development of the UAE today. The country in the mourning for 40 days, so condolences for the sad demise of His Highness Sheikh Nahyan bin Zayed, President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Khalifa bin Nahyan bin Zayed, President of the United Arab Emirates. May Allah place his soul in heaven in the highest level. His Highness the President was a great leader and a successful person, bringing the country to the highest level in the world map. He followed the path and policy of the late His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, father of the nation. Now, we all are fortunate to have Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, the President of the United Arab Emirates and ruler of Abu Dhabi, with experience working with father and brother and working with His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Vice President and Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates, and ruler of Dubai, and the rulers of all the Emirates. So heartiest congratulations. So this was the part I want to say because it is very important for United Arab Emirates. This event we have planned in the Ministry of Economy 2 months ago. Madam Noha was there and Excellency Abdullah Saleh was there, where we discussed that although every year we see the Pakistan Business Professional Council do an event in the chamber together, is our central point where we address to the businessmen and the business community and professionals about the economy and the future of the United Arab Emirates. Because of the pandemic, it was broken for 2-3 years, and now we have started. I'm very happy all that you came here and attending this important event. I really thank you. The two presentations made by excellencies here, both are the important department, Ministry of Economy and the CSR, which is now growing, which is our requirement for the nation. So you have seen how the economy has gone in the last 50 years. I appreciate Doctor for giving the past 50 years unparalleled progress done in the United Arab Emirates. This is, I must applaud them for our leadership, the ruler for the Emirates, for achieving this unparalleled. I always say that UAE cannot be matched with any other country, where 192 countries' citizens are living happily and doing business. And imagine that's the reason with so many brains coming and working in the UAE. And this all because of the leadership. This confidence which they have given to the world that come and do business here is really, I admire. As Excellency mentioned about the golden visa policy. This policy will take another, which level, I do not know. Everyone wants to come to United Arab Emirates. And they are recognizing the innovative people, they are recognizing the successful people. So we are very fortunate here. We will be having in the highest level of learning here in the United Arab Emirates, doing business and learning both. I just identified what has been done by bullet point. They have nearly completed the infrastructure and they are going very fast. Dubai won the bid to host Expo 2020. Baraka nuclear energy plant, the launch of the UAE Space Agency. The UAE reaches for the first time with its Hope Pro. UAE proclaimed the most generous country in the world, no doubt about that. Launching of the artificial intelligence strategy attracted more than 192 countries, people to work and live in the UAE. Attracted foreign direct investment and technical know-how. All 7 Emirates developed together with Emirates, which is strengthened. Means each Emirates were developed. It's not that Abu Dhabi only been developed, or Dubai, all the 7 Emirates parallelly developed. And they attracted the foreign investment inflow of the UAE. UAE ranked first in FDI inflow in West Asian countries. UAE ranked first in FDI inflows in MENA region. The UAE ranked first in FDI flow in 2020, even in pandemic. The result of the Expo 2020 Dubai, which is, is a turning point. Expo 2020 was a turning point. You can see prior to this, when in 2020 things are very much down. We were not aware whether this Expo will happen or not happen. And then October 2021, what a blast, what a way it's been started. That time, the whole world was closed. Whole world was closed. and they all were focusing and watching what is happening when it was announced 1st October 2021. And from there, when Dubai opened, everyone was started opening. This is what we experienced. This is why I say, UAE, you cannot match in any country, anywhere in the world. The way the celebration was done. And managing the 192 pavilion is not easy. I salute and I applaud all the part of Expo 2020. Fortunately, we were having the best pavilion. Pakistan has the best pavilion. And I'll share you that nearly more than 25 programs done by Pakistan Business Professional Council. And I really thank my board, my members for doing this thing. And as you know, Pakistan Pavilion come in first category also. So we are very proud of that and very thankful to the UAE. Now, this impact, if you see prior to 1st October, and you see when it has been done, when start people coming. So UAE has already have achieved in infrastructure, UAE have already achieved in the rules and regulation. So all those 25 million people visited the exhibition, the expo, and they want to come here and invest here and learn here, do business here. And that's what the turning point. You can see the graph, how it is moved. And this is, I'm sure, how far it will go. Our all business councils, especially I thank all our council, we council work together. I'm Pakistan Business Professional Council, Mr. Mohammed leading Tunisian Business Council. So like this, all council president, chairman, I always see as a part of one group. And this is taught by the Chamber, Excellency Mohammed AlMheiri. You have noticed that I always call all the council together wherever we go. And even pandemic, I thank them that every time we were there on 19th of Ramadan to pay homage to our Father of Nation. Honestly, we have more than 60 people there. And I thank their management for receiving us and showing the beautiful mosque, which is again icon here. So with that I'm talking, I must say that we have some good thing is our challenges is the taxation, especially VAT is successfully been done, and I think it has benefited to everyone, and that's what the CSR now is going to work for the community. Now the corporate tax is coming from next year. From this, as a business Pakistan Business Professional Council, I just communicate you, get ready for that, because this is a challenge for all corporate companies, that how they can adjust to it. When they start doing this, I am sure the efficiency and the management will improve. They will have more technical know-how. They will more focus on record, more focus on budget, more focus on cash flow. So this will improve further. So all steps are coming positive in this area. Especially I always say whenever the depression comes, I say UAE is the leader in the tourism, UAE is the leader in the exhibition, UAE is the hub for the business area, and now UAE providing health, providing education. With NYU here and many universities in Dubai, it's one of the best universities there. And of course, we have other areas like Louvre, which is, imagine such a beautiful, I will suggest that who has not visited should visit and see how good it is made and what is their plan. These are the icons, and in Dubai, the future museum which is made, if a person see that, he can attract it to that city. We are all proud to live here. I appreciate for the formation, the DIC doing the work here. I appreciate for ADCCI providing the services, all attracting business. The Startup Hub 71 is another art where anybody can come and do business without any money. They can bring their product, see their ideas, give the project study, they will finance you for 2-3 years. No country do this. So these are all steps. I'll briefly talk about the next 50-year plan and how nicely set up these 10 points for coming 50 years, which His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, who has announced this, and from now 2021, which has been achieved, now 2071, where we are going to be. So the first principle, they say the key national focus shall remain the strengthening of the union. Most important, as I said, they all walk together. The second principle, we will strive over the upcoming period to build the best and most dynamic economy in the world. So already a commitment for that. The third principle, the Emirates foreign policy is a tool that aims to serve our higher national goal. So that is always they keep on top. The fourth principle, the main nature driver of the growth is human capital everywhere. They are neglected everywhere. But this is the one is, if you develop your human resources, you will change your economy. Developing the educational system, recruitment talent, retaining specialists. The fifth principle is the most important. The good neighborliness is the basis of the stability. There, if the peace is there, West, our father of nation, may Allah place his soul in heaven, that he always talked of peace. And that is the reason of success. And that is what the principle says, that good neighborliness is the basis of the stability. The geographical, social, and cultural position of the country in its region is the first line of the defense for its security and safety and its future development. The sixth principle, consolidating the reputation of the Emirates globally, is a national mission for all institutions. So this is, we all have to take care the name of the United Arab Emirates in the world. We have to give positive news always in the world, and we have to control if there's any negativeness there. And this is our joint responsibility. The seventh principle is the digital, technical, and scientific excellence of the Emirates, which defines development and economic frontier. So already the digital, as announced, digital authority is there, metaverse authority is there now, and I think UAE is already in advance in each sector than comparing anywhere the first world. The eighth principle is the core value system in the Emirates shall remain based on openness and tolerance, the preservation of right. They have done extraordinary work on tolerance, especially His Highness Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak, who was our patron since 2004. This council established since 2004, and he's our patron. And we work in his guidance. And he's the tolerance minister, I think, is the best of all. The ninth principle is the Emirates foreign humanitarian, and it's an essential part of its vision and moral duty towards less fortunate people. As I said, is leading in giving, and they're teaching us also how to give, and the CSR will come. And I have always pointed these big corporations, you must put some social responsibility to them to take care of the community, especially in the health and education and other challenging areas. And the last one, the 10th, calling for peace, harmony, negotiation, and dialogue to resolve all dispute is the basis of the Emirates foreign policy. So as I said, that is the core, and imagine if all happened, another 50 years, we achieved this, and now other parts of 50 years, we are United Arab Emirates on the map. I think I cannot vision it, but I'm sure we will be on the top everywhere, because we are already gone to the space in many challenging areas. There's a big work done on, especially when Expo 2020, they put SDG, which is Sustainable Development Goals, were there always. So already they're taking care of that. And Some challenges are there, which is, many keep on saying there were 22 challenges, which I deposited because Pakistan Business Professional Council was a member for the Abu Dhabi Economic Council, which His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, and now the President, was in charge. So the council, together with the other council, having meeting here in chamber, have many deliberation and give 22 points to the committee there, to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, and many of them have been done. But few of them still we are working. Especially, I'll remind you before, when you issue the check, is a high risk. You can go to the jail. That was the point that time I said, no, you should not do this. This way you will lose the businessman. And that was now no more like that. So, saying on that account, SMEs, although many of speakers mentioned, SMEs has to be taken care of. They are the backbone of the country. More support, financial support, more technical support, more human resource type support should be given to SMEs. Other challenge which is the country facing is the insurance. I mentioned on many forums, the insurance are very high, very difficult for bearing. The companies should look into take care of that point. I even, in respect to, said that United Arab Emirates making so many hospitals and so many schools outside UAE to other countries. Our suggestion is that there should be some charitable hospital in the Abu Dhabi, in all the 7 states, where the resident who has no card or has no capacity of that card to service, at least they can go there. This is the suffering happening in the country, the richest country, and we should attend that way. And insurance is very important. The policy, I support the policy, but the price I do not support. It's very difficult for SMEs to bear that. There are many more challenges are there, especially in case of, although recently, as Excellency Mohammed AlMheiri mentioned, that now the fees has been reduced, the cost of doing business is reduced, so I'm sure they're taking care. That will help in improvement. On the subject, I will identify more subject here. One more subject is as we work very closely with Abu Dhabi stock market and DFM with His Highness Isa Kazim, and before Rashid Baluchi was there. The company here, which is now more than 150 listed companies, and there are other private companies are there. Their balance sheets and their financial statement, of course, the bank support them, but their valuation still need to review. I also represent ADCCI Chartered Accountant. Pakistan Business Professional Council is one of my voluntary work giving back to my country and to this country. But my core business is professional work as a chartered accountant, which we are doing for the last 40 years. On that field, what we have, my research work, that these financial statements do not cater the intangible assets. If they can put the intangible assets in their financial statement, the bank will have a better collateral. They can have more borrowing and can do more business. And this is, I happen to interact with international company on this subject. I worked on 6 months on this. We enter in a MOU, and tomorrow we are doing an event on webinar explaining how one can do and increase their financial net worth. If they get the financial net worth better, they can do better business, bank will be more satisfied. So this is new thing. It is somewhere tomorrow, 3 o'clock, we're doing the webinar together with these international partners. I would like you can join and see how you can improve your financial statement without That what they're talking is the branding, that each company, they have a big name, is not been valued. Each company, they have customers, not been valued. Each human resources, not been valued. Name, not been valued. So there are many things that's been left. And this is as per IFRS, which has not been applied. So I will request everyone to look into it, and if you contact me or my company, we'll guide you. And this is honorary work. We're not going to charge anything on those things. So with that, I conclude. I thank all of you for coming on the Monday morning, but my special thanks to some of my council members who came all the way for me. But prior to that, I should honor His Excellency Albino Melonga, Ambassador for Embassy, country Angola. I really thank him for that. Mr. Marford M. Engels is a Deputy Minister from Embassy of the Philippines. Mr. Emma Syed Dawood Zai, Charge d'Affaires, Embassy of Pakistan, Afghanistan, sorry, we all mixed together. And Mr. Ahmed Syed and Ana Sofia Barba from Embassy of Mexico, Mr. Richard, Commercial Counselor, Embassy of Austria, and Yon Green, Embassy of Australia, and Mr. Chitlika, Embassy of Thailand. And then Professor Gao is a great man, Chairman, European Business Council, Zareen Zangiri, Director of Abu Dhabi, German Marthi Joint Council, and Pankaj Savera, Australian Business Group, Anisa Taylor from Australian Business Group, Mai Ahmad, Business Development Manager, British Chamber of Commerce, and Umar Abed Al-Aziz, great friend of mine, is from Benelux Business Council, Mr. Mohammed Damak, another brother from Tunisian Business Council, is the chairman, Madam Gulizar, from Chairperson International Women, she didn't come, she's supposed to be here, Mr. Dia Hussein, Canadian Business Council, thank you very much for coming, and Naila Sama Khalife from CCI France, UAE French Business Group. And Dia Al-Shikardi, President, Iraqi Business Council, my friend. And Salim Muqaddesh, thank you very much for all coming. In the end, I thank everyone, and a special thank to my final thank to the Abu Dhabi Chamber who provided this beautiful auditorium and always worked for him. I'm really proud, and I thank the team of the Abu Dhabi Chamber with so many who always work with us. I thank thanks Syed, Excellency Abdullah Saleh for sending Dr. Hassan for such a great presentation. My thanks to him. I thank Madam Noha coming from Dubai to explain. And I thank you in the last. Thank you very much for giving time and listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Syed Qaiser. As we reach the Q&A session, do we have any questions to be asked? Let me invite Dr. Hassan to the stage, and this is Noha as well for the Q&A session, as we have a few questions. The first question.
Thank you very much. My name is Salah Bashar. I'm a sole practitioner working as international business and investment lawyer. My question goes to Dr. Hassan. I'm just wondering, in terms of R&D, are there any grants, government subsidies, bilateral or unilateral arrangements to augment this process? Thank you.
Can you repeat your question, sir?
Yeah. I'm just wondering, in case of R&D, are there any government subsidies or grants to augment the process of R&D?
Okay, thank you for the question. I mean, I don't understand the question. Are you inquiring about the existence of the R&D support program at Arabi, right?
What is existing or in the horizon? Any kind of government subsidization for R&D research and development?
Yeah. I think, as you know, I mean, I will not venture into giving you some wrong answers, but as you know, the Ministry of Economy is following just the, let's say, the trade policy aspect within the R&D. Regarding the R&D, so far, so I know, I mean, as far as I know, I mean, there is no such, let's say, I mean, a collective Arab, pan-Arabic R&D support program.
Sorry. Thank you very much.
I'll just add one thing. We have on the UAE level, there is a council for R&D, and this is chaired by His Highness Sheikh Abdullah. Ministry of Economy as well, a member of this council. If you wish, we can get you contact and we can give you more information about the things that are happening in the UAE. But I'm not aware of anything collective with the R&D.
Thank you very much. That's too kind of you.
Thank you. Do we have any another question?
I think if I may just in this context, I will give you another say perspective in this area. As you know, right now, the UAE is fully engaged in what we call the CEPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. And this kind of agreements, it's let's say, I mean, it's the advancement of its generation, because it's not just about trading goods or trading services, but it is also about intellectual property rights, R&D, economic cooperation, digital trade, and so on. So far, we have been successful, under our leadership to sign and the agreement is already in place with India, and others, are on the pipeline. So, from the perspective of the Ministry of Economy, this R&D is one of, let's say, the key points in our negotiating agenda with a number of countries. Let's take, India, or maybe, in the horizon, I think tomorrow will be signed with Israel and other countries. And R&D is one of what we call the area that we insist on through joint ventures. And we can do it, through intellectual property rights and also trade and services. I think with the CEPA, we have more, let's say, extensive perspective than R&D, but still, I mean, it could be there. Thank you.
Other questions?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Professor Hassan. So my question is addressed to anyone on the panel. Are there initiatives categorized into and tailor-fit to SMEs, which is small micro entrepreneurs, whom share the biggest number, but requires better support and assistance in terms of growth? Because it's a very impressive plan in terms of sustainability, and the rest of the categories are into four for several aspects. But are these communicated effectively, and are also tailor-fit according to their needs because of their size as well? So that can be a general question, but I would like to get your opinion and views on this matter. Thank you.
I just took this point in my speech of SME in the final conclusion and challenges. Yeah, SMEs do need this thing on many areas, especially on the support as normally SMEs should receive. In this sector, one is you can go to the Gadan 21, and in Dubai also they have Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid department where one can go for seeking support on that account. But other support of relating to the finance, that is all banks are doing for SMEs. They are supporting it provided you have proper collateral. And that collateral, again, I have explained in my speech also. And in respect to the other utilities insurance already, the government is reducing the charges. That is also a support in this present pandemic.
How can I add to this? Thanks, Dr. Qaiser. The UAE government has a great focus on SME itself. That a couple of years back they assigned a minister for this agenda, who was recently appointed as the Minister of Education. Dr. Bilhol, His Excellency Dr. Bilhol was focusing on the agenda of SME. He launched so many different programs. Actually, we are working with them closely right now to launch in the coming few weeks a couple of specialized programs for micro businesses, not just like small and medium businesses. It will include as well seed funding for some of them. There were things that in the pipeline that something that will be on the government level, federal level, not just in one assigned for one emirate. And this is again between work that's done between National CSR Fund and the Ministry of Economy.
Thank you for the answer. In line with that, therefore, how our campuses and the other international business council can be of assistance to communicate these efforts, because this is, I think, wherein our role is vital in making sure that these initiatives are taken into considerations and cascaded through the different layers in the economy.
We will definitely, I would definitely take that into consideration to utilize the chambers to communicate this with the business councils. This is one of the channels that we will be looking at. In addition to that, because we are having tailored initiatives. One is for female-only focused. I have to, sorry. And the second one is for micro businesses, businesses that do not even have to, that do not need even to set up an office, and they might need as well different added value services or support compared to other SMEs. And there would be as well for general SMEs more of a seed fund, but it would be more of like a competition type of initiative. But we will definitely make sure that we will be channeling the communication through different chambers on the local level, so it reaches out different members of the councils.
I want to address my thanks to Abu Dhabi Chamber, it's okay, and to Dr. Qaiser for this seminar. My question is the introduction of the income tax for the next year. What will be the impact on the UAE economy and what the SME will get from it? Thank you. Good question. That's the reason I covered on this the benefit. I mentioned that corporate tax will awake all the corporate sector or the businessmen to look after their financial statement. They should plan their in advance with budget. They should plan their human resources, keeping qualified people. They should plan their expenses, so there is not unnecessary expenses are there in the financial statement. And they should plan the development. So if you have more capital expenditure, then you have more depreciation, then you have to plan, your tax planning should be there. Now, coming to the second part of the thing, that what is the benefit? Of course, if the government is earning more money, so they will spend on the residents. Already, they are providing 10-year golden visa. Today, maybe at some stage, they will make everyone national in the second phase. So all coming to the benefit to all the nation, because in my data, possibly 90% or less are the non-MRCs. So all benefit to you.
I think if I just this issue is under the leadership and jurisdiction of the Ministry of Finance. So So, they sit with the Ministry of Economy in order to discuss first, all the preparations and so on for the implementations. And second, they share with us. They hold, and they are holding, a series of consultations with different groups. I think through chambers of commerce, just first they need to explain the scope of the law and also the expected benefits and so on. So I think through chambers of commerce, they hold such. I don't know if Dhabi chamber, they have already set with the Ministry of Finance in this aspect. Yeah. So I think this because the Ministry of Finance, choose the very representative institutional channel, through which they can, explain the logic, the rationale, and the details of it. Thank you.
I will add to him, Doctor. The thing is, now we've all nearly more than 10 business councils sitting here. What we will do is that we'll make a seminar together with the Abu Dhabi Chamber, and we have a debate on this, on the tax planning and what are the benefits and how it is moved. Right, sir? So we plan it, say, maybe after 260 days, and I'll put in my to-do list to do this with you.
Hi, my name is Hassan and I'm a finance professional based in Abu Dhabi. Thank you for a very insightful presentation, and as you successfully showed us that the economy has diversified additionally from oil and gas to more of investments, trade, tourism, hospitality, and as you move towards a knowledge-based economy, do you think the policy of having a fixed exchange rate to the US dollar is as relevant as it was in the past, and maybe this policy needs to be reviewed? Thank you.
No one. Okay, I answer. On this subject, so much debate has been done, and it's a very sensitive to touch on this subject. Okay, so I take your point, but sometimes it happened that the currency is dirham is overvalued. Sometimes it seems, but sometimes you see the dirham is not valued. You see the present trend in the currency market. Dollar is so strong, but there was few months ago dollar was very weak. So in this way, at least the UAE economy is stable because there is no fluctuation and follows on the US dollar. So in a way, you can understand anything you plan on the basis of US dollar will work easy. Then they have their own conversion rate. Same is like in Europe, which is representing more than 25 countries, at least they have one rate. So similarly, UAE has a rate which I don't foresee any change in that in coming years. Because I know the history, I'm here for the last many years, many times this point was discussed, but at the end, we stay there with dollaring. But your point is good. From Dubai to attend this? Okay, good, that's good. So you have a good question. I'm also thinking, also like we have platform for the Abu Dhabi Business Council, we keep on working together. What I suggest to the Abu Dhabi Chamber, that we make a platform together with Dubai Business Council also. So any event we can interact together on that account. So inshallah, we'll work with the Abu Dhabi Chamber to make a purpose platform, and in 1 year, our event in this chamber together with Dubai and Abu Dhabi Council on the general.
Can I just ask?
Yeah, please.
Thanks for listening to one of the ladies. I just want to ask, clarify one thing. Are you talking only for event-related things or expanding the business or operating?
I mean, expanding the business, operating is all because, Malaysian Business Council, I'm the executive committee for Malaysian Business Council, I told you, because we are registered at the Dubai Chamber of Commerce. So our business is like only in Dubai. There is a limitation to, but now, and I think inshallah this week, I'll establish my business here with Abu Dhabi capital. So I hope there is no limitation for me, to grow. Especially, for us female, we have to like be stand out at the same level as others.
I understand. But one of the things that everyone, I'm sure, understands, we are 7 countries in one country. Each emirate has its own more local law, and there is a federal law that's governing us all. And this is the beauty of our country. And we do have a president that's elected president across all the other 7 emirates. But each emirate has its own individuality, and competition across all these emirates, it's really healthy for us as a country, because this is how you are operating. I mean, like, imagine like if you're setting up a business in Egypt and you want to operate in Tunisia, you would have to have an office over there. So this is how we are doing it over here. But at the same time, we're trying to unify the efforts in this regard. What are the minimum or the basics that you can have in one emirate that could be eliminated in others? And this is, I guess, it depends on your line of business, whether you need to open up branches or like you need to have a more of like micro businesses type of licenses. But it's like having one license, one emirate, and expanding beyond the limit. I don't think this is what we as a country want. But again, I do operate an office for the government from Dubai. I can receive proposals from companies working in any of the emirates. And so I do think you can do a business unless it was more of a written law for the company you are dealing with, that you just can operate in one area. Would you like to add anything, Mr. AlMheiri?
Help to answer this as well. It's like unlock the mystery. Most of the people in business, especially, this awareness should be like created more. Because for me, sometimes I know I've been blessed, being recognized, appreciated in this country to receive the golden visa by your government. But I think it's still a long way to unlock the mystery, because the awareness is not there. And still, like Ms. Noha, you answered my question. Every single Emirates have their own, organization or administration. But for me, I don't mind. Every single Emirates, I have my own company. We will set up a business. This is the way we should boost the economy and to growth. This is our responsibility, right? To boost the economy. But anyway, the golden visa is still wondering. We need to create more awareness. I just received it before Ramadan, a day before Ramadan, so it's a blessing for me. But the thing is, I'm still exploring it. So it's a long way to go. I have to unlock a lot of mysteries. What is the benefits of the golden visa as a business contributors in your country? Thank you.
Not a question, but it is a big thank you to Abu Dhabi Chamber, to the panel, for having us and having this great opportunity to discuss this. With regard to the implementation or introduction of income tax or corporate tax, in my view, to be honest, this will create a lot of rights. Right to live here, right to education, access to legal. It will create a lot of rights to the people, because if you make contribution to the economy of the country, you will have a lot of rights. So the way I look at it is positive. Thank you.
Economy for 15 next year, but you forget the future of the crypto money and its role in the new economy, and if we will see or do our deal with crypto money in the next year or no. This is my question.
Vision of the future challenge. So it doesn't mean if you don't see something there, it's not there. But I think in terms of the cryptocurrency, it's under the jurisdiction of central bank. They are doing a lot of valuation studies in order to see how they can come up with the regulation or try, I mean, to keep or to have it under control. I mean, the big advanced countries, you know, I mean, so far they have this dilemma and so on. But as I say, I mean, just to something, we the last slide, it was kind of sectoral map, which is, I mean, it's not open-end list, but the list that have been discussed, you know, because it's a big process. First we have the payroll, and then we have, you know, different.
Give us his closing remarks and for the gift exchange.
I think I just want to thank all of you for attending this event today. And we heard a lot of questions coming from the audience regarding the corporate tax. For information, we'll have one event here in Abu Dhabi on the, I think, 14th or 15th, I'm not sure, talking about corporate taxes, and we'll give more insights regarding that, and the invitation will go out very soon. So I think anyone has question regarding the corporate tax, I think should attend that meeting on the 14th or 15th of June, so you can get all the answers required. As you know, still there's no final regarding the corporate taxes. Still the government seeking the input from everyone in the United Arab Emirates. So still they are thinking, they are developing, they did not take the final decision. But we need to give our point of view as a chamber. We're already working on that. As Dr. Qaiser said, we asked him to give us his point of view on that. We're meeting this week with the committee internally here in the chamber to get feedback from some of the businessmen, which we discussed with them in the last few weeks. And on the June 14th or 15th, Sultan Mawjood? He's not there. He just left. Okay, just that. He has the exact date. So we're doing it with one of the big four consultants, just to give more insight on the corporate taxes. And as Dr. Qaiser said, we're going to meet with some of the councils here in Abu Dhabi to get their feedback on that. So I hope by then we'll have some fair, law regarding the corporate tax, which can be accepted by all the people living in this country, especially in the private sectors. Regarding doing business in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, really we don't differentiate between any companies in Abu Dhabi or Dubai and other Emirates, but because of the law, we're trying to support our members within Abu Dhabi Emirate. But don't forget, we have the UAE chambers, which represent all the chambers in the United Arab Emirates, and we're trying to work together with all other Emirates when it comes to the benefiting the United Arab Emirates. So I think this is some of the answers I want to let you know about. And I really want to thank, in the end, our panelists, Dr. Qaiser, Noha, Doctor, for their participating today. And I hope to see you, inshallah, soon in other events. And we're going to introduce our new strategy in the coming few weeks. You'll hear about it. There's a new strategy Abu Dhabi Chamber developed. And this will be really, we want to be very close with the private sectors and to be engaged with the private sectors. So you will hear a lot and more about our strategy in the coming few months. And we hope all of you to participate with the Abu Dhabi Chamber initiatives, because this is benefiting all the companies and